Yay. All right. Well, it's the week 5 live session, and Angel and I are the only ones here, but that's all right. I'm recording it anyway, so I can post it for the students who have a need to watch it later. And that's great. Um, Anybody else who joins, you'll be more than welcome. And I'm going to get started with my PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to share my desktop. And Angel, will you tell me when you see my desktop come up, please?
Okay, it's up.
Great. Well, this is the live session for week 5. And here's what I intend to talk about. Take a roll a little bit, give you an opportunity to ask questions. Generic. I'll talk about week 5's objectives here with the management function being control. And I'll talk about the week 5 assignment. And then I will just give you a couple minutes of a preview about the week 6 assignment. It's a good one to close out the course, I think. And we'll talk about anything else on your mind. I don't know why I put that picture in there. I was goofing off, I think. But I am wearing that shirt and tie right now. Any questions that maybe don't concern the assignment, Angel, that you'd like to talk about?
No, not so far.
Here we go. Week 5's objectives, very good objectives. The first one, align control systems with business strategy to manage performance, productivity, and quality. So any organization, it does have aims. That's the reason why they were begun in the first place. And control is necessary to determine whether those aims are being achieved or whether activities need to be adjusted to achieve those goals. Control systems do all that. Could be business strategy. It doesn't necessarily have to be a for-profit business. It could be a government entity, a nonprofit, or whatever. But it is absolutely necessary to review metrics, I think, so you can determine whether they are measuring what is necessary to determine appropriate achievement of goals. So, and the week 5 assignment gets at that. We'll get to that assignment soon. But control systems, it's the word here is align, but it might need to be modify or change or refine control systems. And with systems, I'm talking about metrics or reports or whatever, um, so that performance and achievement of goals can properly be quantified and measured to determine whether the goals are being achieved. That just makes sense, I think. I don't know that there's any question about that, but if you have one, I'd be glad to answer it. Sound cool to you, Angel, or is that not clear somehow?
No, it's actually really clear. I used to work in quality improvement at
Oh,
my
well,
hospital. So
well.
yeah, it's a very familiar familiar topic to me.
Okay, well, you talked about quality improvement. Are you talking about quality principles like Deming and quality management, TQM?
Well, they we touched on that like kind of stuff a little bit, but it really had to do with more so metrics and everything. A lot of my job revolved around physician peer review.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, and what we noticed was that we would bring like a large amount of cases to committee, and the the importance was kind of getting lost in the volume of cases. And so what we were working on before I left the department was coming up with I can't remember the terminology they used, but like threshold metrics. So So for each physician, if they were to have, like, say, a high volume of pneumothoraxes after a procedure or something like that, then we would start reviewing cases for that physician rather than taking every pneumothorax we got, because some are just inherent to the procedure. So we started coming up with like thresholds of things that should come to committee rather than just taking every single one that would occur. If that makes any sense.
It does make sense. Yeah. And it sounds like a good reason to have metrics. Okay. Sandra's with us. Welcome, Sandra. Very glad to have you with us. So we're just starting the presentation. We're on week 5 objectives. The other objective is employee control processes and tools to establish standards and measure performance. I think those are intertwined, these two objectives. I think the first one is more setting up a process or modifying it, and the second one is putting it in place. And this is where I talked about, in reference to the first objective, regular review. You know, all these neat systems that are put in place to measure performance of goal achievement, you know, whether they're performance measures or performance objectives or whatnot, or just metrics, that term. If they are not reviewed by the boss and bosses, as well as those who are responsible for achieving the actual goals, they're just going to die on the vine. Folks will lose interest. They'll think it's just not a worthwhile process to go through it. And I saw that in a number of places, unfortunately, where I worked, and my career has been in local government budgeting. And so one of the things that is included in a city budget, a county budget, even a state budget, are performance objectives that require action and review. And where that review is rigorous, that's going to be a pretty good system. And where that review is lax, people are going to lose heart and lose faith in it to measure what needs to be measured. Any questions about week 5 objectives or comments from either of you? I think it's just 2 of you. Oh, somebody else is with us. Jesus, welcome. And Sandra and Angel, all of you welcome. So we're on week 5 objectives. Any comments or questions about them? Then on we go to week 5 assignment, which is organizational metrics analysis. And I will share with you and pardon me while I see what's, I totally agree with you. Thank you, Angel. Anybody who totally agrees with me, I don't know, maybe some people might judge you to be a little bit insane. But I think you and I understand this concept well, so thank you. Anyway, most of the assignments in this course, I think the first 2 were actually given to me by Dr. Duncan, who did that intro live session in week 1. Great guy, Brent Duncan. And he crafted these assignments. The third one, the PowerPoint presentation, was and the fourth one, week 4's assignment, were kind of what you might call canned. When we put together a syllabus, the university gives us assignments and we modify them as we think appropriate. So I modified the first 2 with Brent Duncan's suggestions. The 3rd and the 4th week assignments were the ones that were given when I got the syllabus. And then week 5's assignment is one that I created. This organizational metrics analysis, because I think it's important to talk about what metrics are there to achieve goals and whether or not they're appropriate, and then are they effective. Appropriateness and effectiveness are 2 different things. But anyway, let's get into that assignment. Go ahead, Ron, bring it up. I'm working on it. Just hang with me, we'll get to it. And here are the instructions. So the week 5 assignment requires you to identify a minimum of 3 organizational goals of your organization, and then to determine the metrics used to determine successful achievement of a goal, and that's the metrics that are in place. And somebody probably put those in place because they thought they were appropriate. And then when you complete the sheet, I'm asking you to create a paper of no more than 500 words. So this is not a baseline, this is a maximum. I'm not asking you for long-winded explanations here, but it is a paper that should be APA formatted. Some people include it below the worksheet, the chart, and that's fine if you want to do that. Or if you want to submit two things, the worksheet and then the paper separately, also good. I'll leave that up to you. But that's a max of 500 words where you discuss how well those metrics are working for you to determine goal achievement. So as a practical thing, are they working out? And yeah, the paper should be formatted with APA design elements. And I hope you all are finding where those APA guidelines are. And there's a lot of assistance in the Center for Writing Excellence tool available from the library link at the top of your screen for teaching you APA and showing you APA and giving you checklists and some really cool tools. So, any questions on the assignment? Angel, you said you had one.
Yeah, I typed my question into the conversation box because I didn't want to forget it. But
oh, I had to go there, huh?
Oh, that's no problem. I just typed it there because I didn't want to forget what I wanted to ask you.
Good for you.
But what content are you looking for? Any particular content for us to have in the comments section?
No, I'm not, and that could be blank. You know, if what you provide in the other columns is appropriate and gives me the information I want, then there's no other comments necessary. It may be that you know, perhaps in putting in a metric, you're using acronyms or something that may not be familiar to me because you know your business a lot better than I do. Then it might be good to explain that. So it's for that sort of thing, just for clarification if it's necessary. Thank you for asking that.
I have a question.
Yes, Sandra. Sandra, somehow or other you got on mute. There we go.
Okay.
Yes.
On the paper you said to write how well they are working. How about if they are not working?
Then that tells me that they're not, okay, you're saying they're not working well. That would be what your paper says. This one is inappropriate because, you know, some circumstance. So that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions on the assignment? You guys are going to take it easy on me tonight? Wow. All right. Let's move on.
I had already made the questions.
Yes, you did. Yeah. And Sandra had asked me a question for you guys, the others attendees. Sandra had asked me questions about the assignment previously in a private message. So it's not like she's being reticent. She got other clarification. But of course, if you need clarification, you know, you just need to ask. Jesus, does that make sense? And is this understandable?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
I asked if the assignment makes sense to you. Basically, do you have any questions about it?
Oh, no. I'm very clear on the assignment. Thank you.
Great. All right, back to the PowerPoint presentation.
Can I ask you one more question before you go forward?
Yes, of course. Let's do that.
If we submit the paper that we have to write and the worksheet separately, is that okay, or would you prefer if we kept it all on one document?
I have no preference. They can be separate. That's fine. They can be, you know, the paper after the worksheet. I don't think you should do the narrative before the worksheet, but even that can be made to work. So I have no preference.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions regarding our week 5 assignment? Okay, back to the PowerPoint presentation. We go on to a preview of the week 6 assignment, final assignment for the course, and that's Hewlett-Packard case study. So, let me bring up the instructions. You may note that there is just this one assignment for week 6, and this is a departure from previous versions of this course. There was a final exam in week 6 in prior versions, and that's been done away with. So, and that's a good thing. That was a very difficult exam, and I'm not sure all the questions were things that you needed to knock around in your head. But be that as it may, this is the one assignment. It's to provide an opportunity to look at an actual case, and this one is Hewlett-Packard under the stewardship of CEO Meg Whitman. So if we look at the Hewlett-Packard case study, and I don't know if you've opened this, we're just going to take a brief look. We're not going to go into detail, but I want to show you the format of what's going on here. We will talk more about this next week during the live session. So you have on 2 pages a discussion of Hewlett-Packard and some of the changes that Meg Whitman as CEO made when she came in 2011. And she made some definite changes, and they were necessary. And you're going to answer questions under the case study about things she did. So this, and I want to bring something else up, but right now we're looking at 175 words for each of these, describe super trends, and all the super trends is discussed in the case study above. It's not a term that's somewhere else. Assess forces of change, also discussed above. And in your readings, Meg Whitman, how Meg Whitman could use Levin's and Cotter's models of change to increase a positive probability of achieving positive organizational change. Kind of awkward wording, but I think you get the gist of it. And if not, you can always ask. Determine how HP is following the 4 steps. So you get the idea, 175 each, and I think that's a maximum. And I'm going to go back to my grading guide, which I hope has the changes I made, because there was some confusion in an earlier class about it. So this is up to 175 words. If you answer it, and that's for all of these, 175, yeah, okay, I see this now. This one says up to, this one says 175 word minimum. I'm going to swap this out. Let's see. I hope I can swap it out. It'll require modification to the syllabus. I may wait until week 6 to do this, because if I change the syllabus, I think you all get a notification and it might freak you out. So I'm going to wait till week 6 to do it. But basically, it's not 175 word minimum. It's up to 175 words for all of these. I just have to have another version of this that says that, and that's the one I should have posted in your assignment instead of this one. So I'm going to get it to you, but that's what's going to happen in week 6. Any questions so far about the week 6 assignment? Is it making sense? I'm sorry about the confusion on the word count, but this 175 words, this is all I'm looking for, that or less. Hopefully more than just, a couple of sentences. It needs to be a full answer, but I'm not looking for an essay on each. No questions? That's fine. Then back to the PowerPoint. Okay, that's all I have for you this evening. Are there any other comments? Hope things are going good for you guys, and that you're going to finish the course in great shape. to go on to the next one. We're rapidly closing in on the end. Let's see if anybody wrote anything. No, yeah, Angel, she's the one who does the writing, and yeah, she just says no, it makes sense. Great, I'm glad it's helpful. So, if there are no other comments, I thank you for joining me this evening, and I'm not going to waste your time with anything else that's not relevant to your schoolwork, unless you have questions, and I'll be happy to talk with you. Great. Well, thank you all again, and I wish you all a very good evening. And I'll be posting the question that I have for week 6 here when I get the recording done and posted. So have a good evening. Good night to you all. And
Good night.
Good night. I'm going to stop my recording.